and you'll have a whole bunch of people pretending it's 1983 again.
Yeah, well, possibly without the cocaine, though.
Welcome to the official podcast of Joey's Song. You know, at Joey's Song, we have one mission: raise as much money as we can so that research into finding treatments and cures for epilepsy can get the funding it needs. We would love your support. If you can subscribe and leave a review of this podcast, it will help more than you could ever know. If you have a couple extra mouse clicks left in you, go to YouTube and our YouTube channel, Joey's Song, and subscribe. There. In less than 2 minutes, with a couple of mouse clicks, you will have made it easier for others to find us and help spread the word. Now, if you want to do a bit more, head over to joeysong.org, consider buying a show ticket or some merch, or even making a donation. Thanks. You know, we'll beat this disease, and together we'll have some fun doing it as well. Join us. All right, let's do this. I have a fellow Wisconsinite with me, although she's not a regular Wisconsinite anymore. She's lived here on and off, and she is my favorite go-go. No offense to Charlotte and Gina and the rest, but my favorite go-go, it is the wonderful Jane Wiedlin. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for the nice compliment.
Well, it's all true and from the heart. I have a bullshit detector on this thing, so if I tell a lie, it immediately shuts it down. So since it didn't shut us down, that must all be true.
Okay.
So you are talking to us today from where?
Berkeley, California, in the beautiful Bay Area.
Oh, nice. Now, you, as I said in the intro, you're originally a Wisconsin gal, a Conomowoc, if I remember correctly, yes?
That's right.
And then what took you out to California originally?
I was just a kid, and my dad got a job offer out here at the VA hospital. He was an oral surgeon, and he ended up working for the VA for a really long time. Actually, he did some interesting stuff. He helped pioneer implants, tooth implants. So that was kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like actually making a difference in lives there, right? I mean, that's like really making a difference. That's super cool.
Yeah. And you know, those stories you hear about poor vets thinking they have a radio transmitter in their mouth? It's true. No, it's true. He used to come home and say, "Oh God, this guy got a radio transmitter in his tooth," and oh my God, it breaks my heart. But it's kind of a little bit funny, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, there's several definitions of funny, I think, on that one. Yeah, that's kind of, wow. Makes you really, the people that put the tinfoil on their head, maybe they're onto something there.
You never know.
So as we're recording this, you guys, well, it was a couple months ago now, but the Go-Go's had a big successful run and you played Coachella. Tell me about playing Coachella.
Well, first of all, when they called us about Coachella, I mean, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I was absolutely shocked. Like, okay, I can't even believe we're on the radar. The idea for us playing for them, when you know that audience is super young, and well, the impression I got when I was there that is like at least like 30% of them are just there to take selfies. So, but we were, I mean, of course, thrilled because Coachella is the biggest music festival in the world. Another funny thing happened though is that we were standing on the side of the stage waiting to go on, and it was a huge stage with a huge green lawn for the audience. There was nobody in the audience. It was completely empty, and we're like, "Oh my God, it's our worst! It's our worst nightmare come true. No one wants to see us. Everyone hates us." And I guess this is how Coachella works, but about 30 seconds before we went on, all of a sudden there was this wow, mass of humanity. And all of a sudden there were like tens of thousands, I don't know how many people, but it ended up really great. I was surprised to see a ton of our demographic of fans, like the older folks. But also there was a lot of young people too, a lot of young women, which made me really happy because I still feel like the Go-Go sent out a message that it's really not that much has changed since the 80s of like, we're powerful, we play instruments, we write our songs, like, this isn't just a boys game, it can be the chicks too.
Right. And you make a great point on that. Doesn't feel like a whole lot has changed because while there are women dominating the charts, there's no bands anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's all individuals and, mashups and all that other stuff. I just recorded this a podcast a couple days ago with Vicky Peterson from the Bangles. And she was talking about, she wanted what the Beatles had, right? That in her case sorority, but that tight knit group of going to battle together. And while there's lots of big female stars and Miley and Olivia and Taylor and all that, there's no bands. I mean, there are, but no big bands like you guys were and like the Bangles were on the scene.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's so true. I mean, the Bengals came a little bit after us, and we saw that as a super encouraging sign that things are changing. And then I don't, I don't know. I try to figure it out, and then the only thing I can figure out, and it's kind of crass and kind of rude, is that I think a lot of dudes get into rock and roll, to get laid. And
My son,
maybe
my son's a 23-year-old musician. That's all I need to tell you. So yeah,
horny, horny, horny. I
yep.
mean, we wanted to get laid too, but it wasn't our primary motivation for starting a band.
Right, 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 right. Well, and considering that, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that you guys and then the Bangles after you were trailblazers. I mean, there were girl groups, but they were a little prefabby and, manufactured. I mean, you guys literally were the ones who kicked through the door. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough behind you to follow. We've got some badass women, Kim Gordon and Amy Mann, and lots of people that are part of that and leaders thereof, but
Mm-hmm.
not the all girl group. And I mean, there's some. Have you heard of this band called The Warning? I think they're from Mexico. They're
No.
all they're all really great. It's kind of a metal, not a metal, but a hard rock kind of stuff. So there are some of these all girl groups percolating a little bit, which fingers crossed it catches on.
Yeah, I do. People send me YouTube videos, and you see these like really young girls shredding on guitar. I got to tell you, I love. I hope. I don't know. Hopefully, things will change more, and maybe there'll be more women musicians in the future. I sure hope so.
Yeah. So I saw a video from Coachella where Billie Joe Armstrong joined you guys on stage as well. Tell me about that because that's rock god status right there.
Absolutely. I mean, he's pretty much been my favorite musician slash songwriter since like 1990. I just think he is so talented. And, we not well, but we hung out with him lots of times. And we had heard oh, he has this cover band called the Cover Ups, right? And he plays locally here in Berkeley, Oakland. He plays at these little clubs, which is insane. Um, but so he's a big fan of the cover song, and in their set they were doing Head Over Heels, which was Go-Go's hit. And so someone in our band had the idea, why don't we ask him if he would want to do it? And like he said yes, and we were all thrilled. And then it actually happened. I think when he first walked out, everyone was like, "Who that guy? Who that guy? Is that a roadie? What?" Blah, blah. Like, 20 seconds later, they're like, "Oh my God, it's Billie Joe Armstrong," and
Yeah.
wild, and that was so fun. That was awesome. That was legendary stuff. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. That's that and he's another one of those examples of the people that got sober, turned their life around and have had like a second a second career because I know things were kind of messed up for him in a while. And then American Idiot's on Broadway, and he's doing all these amazing, amazing things. And they're back to doing stadium tours. It's like hope springs eternal sometimes, and he's an example of that. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. I saw that video and I went, oh my God, they must have been squealing. I would have been squealing. So that's great. And then you guys did some other dates. You did some headlining dates around California, right? Did you do Warfield? I don't remember what you did. It
Yeah.
was in my mind a while ago.
Oh yeah, we did do Warfield. We did some smaller gigs just to warm up for these giant shows. So we did the Warfield in San Francisco, and we did shit. What did we do? Oh my god, why can't I remember? Was it
I can't either, so don't.
the Roxy in Hollywood? And then we did a gig in this hotel in Vegas, and those were all really, of course, well attended because they were small shows, and it kind of got the ball rolling as far as doing these big shows. The other show we did is Cruel World, which
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
I had never heard of that, but it started out a goth fest, and it's run by the same people that do Coachella, so it's also pretty well organized and blah blah blah. But I guess it's kind of morphed from a goth show into an '80s show, and that one was really fun because it was almost all our contemporaries. And so there were bands we knew and bands we admired. And it was a very different atmosphere for me. I felt a lot more comfortable, less nervous. And that was really fun.
And did the audience reflect that 80s vibe? Did you look out and see more faces that look, well, hopefully more like you than like me, but folks of our generation?
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who it mostly was.
Yeah, I would think so. And is that, I don't want to turn this into the Amy Mann podcast, but did Till Tuesday, is that the one that Till Tuesday
Yeah,
reformed for?
for 40 something years, and I'm such a fan of
Oh,
Amy. Again, a brilliant songwriter, a very nice person, and I I got to see part of their set, which was awesome. But this is the really fucked up thing that happened with them. Is you probably know that at these festivals the timing is crucial. Like you can't go
yeah,
over 10. If they tell you 50 minutes, they don't mean 51 minutes. So we're kind of like panicky, like, oh, what if we go over? Because of course your last song is your biggest song, right? So we
right, right.
had and we're thinking like, ah. And there was one point, oh my God, a reviewer actually talked about this. Charlotte, for some reason, all of us we have brain fog and old people brain, but
Yeah, yeah.
just totally blanked on the song we were supposed to start, and she starts it. So she's just standing there panicking, and I'm panicking, and we're all looking at each other. Belinda's panicking. She turns around to Gina and says, "Just start the song!" Freaking out. And then Gina doesn't know what to do, so we're just still sitting there. So I run and start the song. So, which I think is super fucked up. They're like, it's clear the Go-Go's hate each other because of that
Oh,
20-second thing. And you really, seriously, like, meanwhile, Noel and Liam are fucking punching each other out. And because we panicked for 20 seconds, it ruined the show for everybody. Oh, why do they hate each other? So that was fucking bullshit. But other than that, it was super, really fun set. Oh, and I forgot to finish my story. So Tuesday, they were, I think, 2 minutes over, and the stages revolve so that like the next act is the
yeah.
setup, and so they're fucking doing voices carry, and they spin them off the stage during the song. I mean, are you serious? It was terrible. I was so mad.
It's like the Academy Awards when somebody's giving a speech and the music starts.
Yeah, and then the hook comes out.
Oh my God. Did they at least finish it by the time they rotated?
No.
God. Oh my goodness. That's a great story. But nobody wrote about the fact that Coachella hates Till Tuesday because they rotated the stage on them. Nobody wrote about that, I take it.
No, cruel world, but yeah, nobody. No,
That's right, Cruel World. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I guess that wasn't really the same as us bickering on stage, but I mean, people have to understand this relationship between the five of us is going on 50 years,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not like being in a business. It's not really like we're sisters. I think it's way more like we're five of us married to each other. It is like 50-year marriage with five people. So you can imagine, oh my God, sometimes we bicker or whatever. And we have gotten a lot better. People have gotten, we've gotten nicer to each other because we could be kind of rough and stuff. But
Yeah.
super proud of us because there are very, very, very few people that are still in the same lineup, almost 50 years later. And the ones that are the ones that are making hundreds or tens of $1 million a year, which obviously the Go-Go's are. So, I mean, I imagine that's for the money. And for us, it's more like, I don't know, it's kind of, we love what we do. We love the crowds. I mean, you just get the biggest rush from having all that love from all those people. So,
Yeah. Yeah. As you were saying that, I was trying to think of any bands of note that we don't know or can be sure they didn't. Rush is the only band I can think of that seemed like they were friends from the beginning. I mean, the Stones had their time, the Beatles had their time, the Bangles. I mean, we can go down the list of all of these bands, either, they break up or they go on hiatus or all that other stuff. So most bands that are of any real stature that have a long history, at some point something happens.
yeah.
And like I said, other than Rush, I can't think of anybody. I mean, well, they're Canadian, so of course they're all nice. And Neil's
Well,
gone, but they're all
yeah.
great people. Yeah, right. So, but I mean, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. You can go down the list. Everybody has their brush up. So,
Yeah.
but that's what happens when you're women and you're trailblazers. You're easy fodder. You're easy fodder. So I don't want to break any rules here, but are you guys going to be doing more dates anytime soon? Or was this kind of wrapped it around the two festivals and we'll see what comes next?
Well, I mean, every year we're like, this is our farewell tour. Like, so we've stopped saying that because things keep happening to us. I mean, just in the last 6 years, we had like a Broadway musical, a Walk of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, California Hall of Fame, Sundance Film Festival documentary. So all this stuff that we're not expecting keeps coming at us and kind of reviving us and reviving the career again. Just when we're going to slip into obscurity, it all comes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and now with the whole festival thing going on, you can, and I hate to say, I feel like I'm name dropping. I did my podcast last week with Hugo Burnham from Gang of Four, who's also coming to Joey's Song for you Gang of Four fans. And they just did their final tour. And I asked him, and he goes, yeah, but if somebody throws a lot of money at us to come and play a festival here, we're going to do it.
of course.
So he says, we are done touring. We're not going to do 12 weeks out of a
Yeah.
suitcase and all that. But if people still, and as we all know, our generation are the ones that have the money to relive those days. And if you put together the right bill,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get like Cruel World, and you'll have a whole bunch of people pretending it's 1983 again. Which, if I could figure out how to do that, it would be great.
Yeah, well, possibly without the cocaine, though.
Yeah. There's a few things I might change, but otherwise, I'd be willing to give it a go. All right, so that was wonderful. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back, and we're going to get to my favorite part of this podcast where we go this or that with Jane Wiedlin, and she tells us who she. So we're going to dig deep into Jane Wiedlin's psyche, and we'll see what comes out the other end. So stick around. We will be right back. All right, we are back from break, and now it is truly my favorite part. I love talking to all these people, obviously, but this is the favorite part with everybody because you get to, even though there's some music questions in here, you get to find out more about them as people and all that, and that's kind of fun too. So this is our version we call This or That, where I give you a couple choices and you decide which one you prefer of the
Okay.
two. And I always start out with this one, Beatles or Stones?
I knew you were going to ask that, by the way. Okay, so I was just a wee lass when the Beatles came out, but because I had older brothers and sisters, I was listening to the Beatles like I don't even what like when I was 6, and I was
Yeah, me too.
obsessed. And one of the things I did, which steered me in a possible direction, is I would always learn every harmony and every song, and I would sing along. And I even wrote a letter to them and asked if they wanted a girl background singer. And I can't believe they didn't write back. Anyways,
The hell, man.
my formative years was all Beatles, no Stones, and listening
Me
to
too.
every one of those records thousands of times. Um, so I would say Beatles, except for later in life, I started listening to the Stones. The Stones were too scary for me when I was little, but
Yep.
um,
Same.
and now I think because I've beaten all my Beatles songs to death, I think I might have to choose the Stones because I still haven't done like really deep dives into their whole catalog. So that's like
Yeah.
not a great answer, but
No,
that's my answer.
it's as I said, setting this up. It's not about the answer; it's about the discussion that goes with it and understanding it. That's perfect. I mirror exactly what you said. Well, my first single was "Happy Just to Dance with You," and I don't remember. "I'll Cry Instead" was on the other side, or whatever it was. Obscure Beatles songs, but that was like the first 45 that my parents had, and I got to the point where I had to have like 3 nickels on the needle to hold it down. There were so many skips and scratches in it, but yeah, absolutely, love, and I'm the same way. The Stones. I think the Stones don't start to get to you until you can really understand what's behind "Sympathy for the Devil" or "Street Fighting Man" and some of that, and then you kind of realize the "Would you let your daughter date a Rolling Stone" thing that they had as one of their promotional things. So I'm with you on that.
So this is my prized possession.
Oh boy.
This year around my birthday, I just decided to treat myself to something because I've wanted this for as long as since the time I heard about it, which had to be like in punk days or something. But look what I have.
Oh my God, the Butcher Block.
It's the
Oh my
butcher
God.
cover.
Oh my goodness. I gotta ask, what did you pay for that?
Well, okay.
Or you give me a rough estimate.
No, I mean I was in this like rock and roll like memorabilia shop
Yeah.
that's very secretive. They don't have any signs, and you have to get invited. Anyways, so
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
had at least a dozen of these, and
Really?
some of them, you can get one as I would say as cheap as like $600, $800, but they'll be pretty fucked up. Um,
Yeah.
this one was somewhere in the middle. It's definitely not perfect, but it looks good enough for me. Like I don't care that it's not pristine, and I think the pristine ones go for tons of money. So
Because there were also the ones that you can buy that they put a cover over the cover, and if you peel it back, because that when Capitol pulled that back, they put the other cover where they're standing with the umbrellas or whatever it is over the top, and so everybody then went back to see if theirs was one where if I peel it back, there's the Butcher cover underneath it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, actually, they had printed 1 million of the butcher covers, and the record company saw it, and they were like, no way. And so they put it was actually a sticker that they put over those 1 million albums. But the thing is, the glue they used, people, thousands of people, tens of thousands, tried to peel it off because I guess people do. I mean, I was just a kid, but yeah. So most people actually ruined it doing that. I mean, it's this whole special technique to get that sticker off.
yeah. And when you're a kid, special technique is find the corner and tear.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, oh, that's God. We could do Beatles forever. Are you going to go? Paul's doing one more tour. Is he doing L.A.?
Well,
I don't.
I live in the Bay Area, but
Oh yeah, you're up. You're up in it.
yeah, I have not heard about it, but I did see Paul McCartney. He played at Outside Lands, which is an outdoor festival in Golden Gate Park. And I don't know who wrangled this because I'm really bad at doing this, but somebody got Tina and I tickets, and we got to be on the stage where the guests are. They had this big, like crazy scaffolding platform. So we're like literally looking down at Paul. And at one point, he looked up at us and he smiled and winked. And I know it was us. It had to be us he was looking at. But okay, so the thing I walked away from with that show was Paul McCartney not only did not have any alcoholic beverages on stage, he didn't even have water. And he played for 3 hours without drinking any water. Unfreaking believable. That guy is a machine. And his band, I know a few of them, really nice guys. They're got to be close to the best musicians in the world because they never made one mistake. They never sang out of tune. They were machines. They were perfect. Which
I know Brian. Brian has actually played Joey's song before. I'm working on getting him to come back. And Abe is, I don't know Abe, but Abe is such a big personality behind that drum kit.
Yeah.
We went and saw, speaking of how perfect they are, Sam and I, my son, have seen Paul several times because I'm a good father. There was one time where Rusty screwed up something minor that none of us would have heard, and Paul called him out after the song. But his point was, we've played this song. You know, I will not do a Scouse accent. We played this song hundreds of times. He's never gotten that wrong before, and so it felt like it was one of those "this truly has never happened before" kind of moments.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I'm really looking forward to. We have not seen him since he's done the mash up with the video of John, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because now they do Don't Let Me Down, whatever it is, and the part that John does, they show the video of. Oops, I lost you. Oh, there you are. Now you're back. Yeah, so I'm excited. We're going to go see them in Chicago, and it's the last 2 dates of this tour. So love Paul. All right. See, I knew that was dangerous territory for you and I to go down in. So, all right. Are you a plan everything or go with the flow kind of person?
I'm a plan everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
always been that way.
I've always been really organized and always making lists, which Go-Go's had a song I wrote called Girl of 100 Lists. So it's, I have to have a calendar, everything in it. And it's gotten that way because I've like more and more the brain cells are dying. So, you got to be organized to really screw up.
Yeah. Yeah. You and me both. All right. If you could time travel, would you want to go into the future or into the past?
Oh man, at this point, I wouldn't go in the future. It's going to be like, Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I'd definitely go to the past. There's so many things I'd like to see. I would love even just to see the 1920s when women were, coming in their own for a while, and like, I don't know, everything seemed like so glamorous and fun. And I mean, if you had money, anyways, I wouldn't want to be a poor person in any timeline. It's fucking poor.
Especially in the future, you would not want to be with the way things are going as well. So yeah, nope. I'm with you on that one. All right, this one I know the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you could either speak every language or talk to animals, which would you choose?
Talk to animals.
I knew that. That's why I had to end on that one with you. So for those of you that are listening and watching, Jane and I are both members of the 3 Dog Family Club. She's got 3 and we got 3. And I kind of knew the answer. That's kind of cheating that I asked that question, but I wanted to ask it anyway. Why don't you tell everybody about your 3 dogs, and we'll close on that for this segment. Okay. So tell us about your 3 dogs.
Well, my 3 dogs are both my roommates and my children, and that's who I live with are my dogs. I've got Pete, who's my big boy. He's a Catahoula pit bull mix, just so dumb, so sweet. Love him to pieces. And then I have Willie, who's a Whippet mix, and she is also incredibly dumb, but even sweeter than Pete, if that's possible. The only thing I will say that she does is she's really into French kissing, so she's constantly launching at my face and sticking her tongue down my throat, which, don't really love it, but I appreciate her enthusiasm. And then the mastermind of all is Kevin, who's a rat terrier, and he's the one that convinced me that dumb dogs are the way to go, because he's constantly outsmarting me. It's unbelievable how much mischief he gets into, but he's smart as a whip. I mean, out of all three of my dogs, he probably knows like 10 times as much of what I'm saying. And because I talk to my dogs all the time, they do understand a lot of stuff, like even just whole sentences. It's not just one word stuff.
Oh yeah, so I'm the cook in our family, and the dogs are obviously always around me when I'm cooking, because you never know when a kernel of corn or something is going to fall off. And I tell them what I'm doing, and I'll go, because we've got Maggie, Benny, and Javier are our three dogs, and I'll say, Maggie, where did I put that cooking? I mean, I do the same thing, and I think it's partially old age, but it's like, I've got my family here, and they're still my best friends and my roommates and everything too. So I get it. And Maggie, we got two boys and a girl, and Maggie's our oldest one. Maggie's our tripod, our three-legged dog, and she's smart. I swear she understands English. If we could replace her her vocal cords or her voice box, she would come back and say, well, you left it in the bedroom, you dumbass. Right? Because she gives me that look. I know she understands every word. She's super smart, but ours are all rescues, and they're all mutts.
Okay. Online now it's getting really common where you see these people that they have these setups with like a big button on it, and each button is a different word. Like,
oh yes, I have.
Blah, blah, blah. And then you see these dogs pressing on things. Okay, I want to know if that's real, because I feel like it's so easy to fake so much shit online. I really love to know if that's real, because I remember at one point a while ago that there was one dog doing that, and it looked really real. But now when I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. The other thing that I've seen is dogs because dogs are supposedly colorblind, right? And I've seen it where they have toys behind the couch, and they'll have like three of the same shape. One's red, one's blue, one's green, or they'll have, different combinations, and they'll look at the dog and say, go get the green doll. The dog so that's multi-layer thinking. That's not just go get your toy or go get the ball. That's go get the green doll or go get. So I wouldn't put it past some of these dogs to be able to. I can't imagine they have a massive vocabulary, but I know if I taught my dogs food and out, they would learn those really fast.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to just do a little correction. I just a couple weeks ago watched a podcast about how dogs see, and they're actually not colorblind.
They're not? Okay.
No, they're not. They have a more limited spectrum of color than we do, but they absolutely can see a lot of colors. I think it's greenish and orangish that they have trouble with. But yeah, they can see some color.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I think it was the same podcast I was listening, and it was, I think dogs can learn up to 300 words, which is nuts.
I can't get to 300 words.
Well, I was saying I don't even think I need to know 300 words. I just need feed me, coffee, nap time, easy.
Hey, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end of the podcast. A quick reminder, if you can give us a follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast provider and write a short review, it will really help us out. If you can head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel over there, that's another big help. These simple acts make it easier for others to find us. And of course, head over to joeysong.org to join our community and stay up to date on all the news. Thanks, and we'll talk again real soon.
Learn more about Joey Song by visiting joeysong.org. The theme music was composed by Sam Gomoll, and Joey Song is a federally registered 501c3 charity. Thanks for listening.